We are live, eh? Hello and welcome to THR episode 17. Season 3 episode 17. Poleni sana tumechelewa. We've had Kenya Power manenos. Naambiwa nitoe mask. Poleni tumechelewa. Kenya Power ametudisappoint kidogo, but we are live and coming to you straight from City Park Stadium. With me, niko na Njugush, as usual. How are you, my bro?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Doing well.
I like the blue shirt.
Thank you. You.
You look like you're making millions, huh?
Wash. I'm not the wash. I'm not part of the wash community.
You can share that with the union.
I can share a bit of it with the union.
Yeah. Karibu sana.
Yes.
Introduce our guests.
We have, let me start with the president, retired Colonel Randiek, who is joining us. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Njugush.
Yes, and we have the Secretary General, Wycliffe Ongori.
Ongori is the name.
Ongori Momanyi.
No, Momanyi is a different person.
It's a different person,
yes,
eh? So Ongori is fine.
Ongori is fine.
You know, today in the morning I got confused.
Yes,
I didn't know whether to use.
I saw, and I actually wanted to call you and ask you, where did you get your name? In the hockey circles, my name is
Wycliffe Ongori.
Thank you. Pleasure to
Thank
be here
you.
with you guys.
Thank you so much for
hosting us.
allowing us to come into your space and just, let us talk about different issues. And we're going to hit it right on it. And I'll start with you, Mr. President. It's been what? Probably 4 years before, since the new enactment of the new Sports Act and you guys coming into office. What have been your highlights, if you can mention them?
One, which is very conspicuous, is there has been growth from where we took over and where we are now. There has been growth in all the categories that we actually offer. And we have figures and facts, and I think figures and facts don't cheat. If you look at 2016, look at how many men's team we had. I think we had 26, and then we had a 9 women team.
Yeah.
If you look at that total, I think it comes to 35. Okay, moving from 2016 to 2017, there was a growth. Men we moved to 33, and the women to 11. Making a total of 44. Okay. Likewise, again, moving to 2018, there was a growth. Men we had 34, women we had 14, giving a total of 48.
Yeah.
And then moving to 2019 actually now, from 2018 to 2019.
Yeah.
We had, we can say, we had 33. And if we count the veterans, we had 5 veterans team. I think that makes it 38.
Yeah.
And then looking at ladies, women, we had 16, making a total of 54. I think those are figures.
Yeah.
And those figures would have only grown to that extent because of the interest that actually Kenya hockey generated, and hockey players and the clubs responded positively.
Yeah.
And we didn't get an opportunity to project properly the year 2020.
Yeah.
Because of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
We also trained a lot of technical people, cutting across from coaches to umpires to tournament organizers to management personnel. That was with the help of FIH and Africa Hockey. And those numbers have increased. So we hope that once we start using them effectively, we will see the impact.
Yeah, it's evident because I know Simon is one of them who has benefited from the trainings. Yeah.
And throughout your tenure, as Njuguna said, since the inception and now moving on to the new ways of running the sport in terms of your new office, the county associations, what are some of the challenges you've gone through so far? You can start and then Wycliffe can add it to it?
I think the main challenge is financing factor. You know, hockey has changed a lot from the time we were playing hockey to the time we are running hockey. You know, during our time, there was a lot of organizations and individuals who were ready actually to sponsor hockey. But that one died off. You can see a lot of cooperation clubs actually died off.
Yeah.
And I think their main reason was it is too expensive for them to run, you know, to spend on sports teams. So that is an area that we are still suffering. People will tell us that this is a national body and we should be getting financing from the government.
Yeah.
In most times, the government is happy to actually take you to a tournament, yet they are not prepared to prepare you for the tournament. They are not ready to expose you, you know, to the outer world so that the players get used to what they should expect during the competition. All that needs money. And then clubs, we used to have a lot of clubs who were sponsored. Now we have most of the clubs are actually colleges or self-sponsored clubs.
Yeah.
So that has also actually taken away, you know, the capacity of clubs to come in with the finances that are required, so that when you have tournaments around the country, all of us can actually travel and comfortably take part in those tournaments.
Yeah.
But most of the clubs that are self-sponsored don't have that capacity.
Yeah.
And that one affects across the board. It will affect the counties, it will affect the national association, and it will also affect the performance of the national team.
Mr. Secretary General, what are some of the challenges and highlights since you came into
Highlights.
office? Yeah.
Highlights are many. We just didn't exhaust. Of course, I mean, the president talked about the high number of clubs. We have interest from other teams that want to join. Recently, I received an email from a club in Voi. They want to join us. I received interest from a club in Makueni. I know Migori, there is interest that is coming through. So generally, there is growth. Kakamega have introduced a second team. Yeah. Now, the other key thing that I'll talk about that is a bit interesting is we qualified for the Olympic Youth Games. That is a positive story. And I can explain to you why. The boys who went for, because it's boys who qualified, they were about just slightly above 15, 16 years. What does it tell about our future as a country? Yeah, and how come we were able to pick the under 15, around 15, 16, 17? It means there's something we are doing right, yeah, at the youth level. Yeah, to us it's a great highlight. The third one, and maybe everybody will start wondering, why are we saying we don't have sponsors and you're talking about sponsorship being a highlight? Remember when we were giving awards here, there is a company that came called Coachella. They came and sponsored the top scorer, the top player. Yeah, that shows there is an interest. We are doing something and the corporates are noticing. Maybe not as fast as we would wish to, but hey, somebody came and somebody gave something. Yeah, I think top scorers got about 10,000 shillings. Yeah?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, exactly. So there is, if you ask me, there is growth in that area. You get now two things that are also critical for us to note. Remember, we talked about capacity enhancement. One of our umpires will do the Under-21 World Cup in December in India. Isn't that growth? Yeah, doing a junior World Cup only means that he is 2-3 steps away from going for the Olympics as an umpire. One of our eminent ladies who's just stopped playing was elected as in the FIH Athletes Committee. that was that was the serious highlights of what we've done so far. How was she able to get that? We proposed her as a union, and we lobbied for her in Africa, and she got it. It also means that out there, yeah, we have a good name in Africa. Yeah, we can lobby and we can get one or two things going. Yeah, that was is a highlight. It might not be noticeable, but you see, when you are in the kitchen, you cannot be in the sitting room making noise. Yeah, when you are in the kitchen, you're busy cooking. Yeah.
Make noise,
Yeah.
chakula imechelewa.
Exactly. Yeah. No. As fans and as stakeholders, that is allowed.
Yeah.
But remember, the person in the kitchen, he has to do some work. Otherwise, there'll be no food.
But Wiki, let me pick it up from there and just put it this way.
Yes.
It is. You're very right. When you're busy in the kitchen, you cannot start making noise
In the sitting room. No.
You have to decide where you want.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you need to send someone to come and say,
This is what we are cooking. Food will be ready in the next 5 minutes. And by that, I mean communication.
And I can actually remind you
Yes.
that June 20th, 2020,
Okay.
these two gentlemen and others were seated up there.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
And remember, we realized that we need you for us to propagate our story.
Yeah.
You get? And all along, we've been having conversations.
Yeah.
And that's why we are here today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we might not have done exactly that well in that area, but look at where we are today.
Okay.
And look at what we are discussing.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
In case you have any questions, comments, please do post them on the comment section below, and we'll get to ask the fine gentleman here.
Yeah.
And I think also maybe to mention something on communication.
Yes.
I think there is a lot of communication also which comes from the, I don't know if I'll be right to call it mainstream media.
Okay.
Yeah, which people actually select to choose to use selectively. You see.
Yeah.
Or sometimes when they want to paint Kenya hockey, black, they also use that media.
Yeah.
You see, but I think there is communication, not to the level that we would like, but that is what we are trying to enhance now. Okay.
Good. Let's move on, and we have missed watching action in this pitch for a very long time, and it's not because of it's because of the COVID-19 and stuff. So what are your feelings about the current situation of the sport in relation to COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown?
What we can say is we have lost out. We have lost out a lot. But we must also work hand in glove with the government if we want to do anything.
Yeah.
Or if we want to go back any sooner onto the pitch. And I think we are doing a lot. Our feeling is, there is no need of always, criticizing the ministry, the government, talking negatively about them because they are not supporting us to the level that we would like to see. They've told us you cannot go on the pitch unless you are tested.
Yeah.
And there's a frequency that they want that test. But they say you have to be tested, but we are not going to finance it. So we cannot keep on crying, We are feeling bad about it, but we have to work around it. We have to get our players tested, and we have to go back onto the pitch, which we are doing. That is one thing. We also have been talking to clubs because we cannot work in isolation. But you see, very many people out there will be making a lot of noise that what are you doing to get us back on the pitch? But we are telling them, we have to cooperate. We will look for the cheapest rates that are available, and we will point you to those institutions, hoping that we will all act, in the required speed, so that we can find ourselves back on the ground. complaining will not help us.
Yeah.
So we better sacrifice and get back. But I think a number of teams are working with us, and actually they've started testing, which is very good. And we should be getting onto the pitch sooner than later. In just a number of days, not weeks now.
Okay.
And we should, you see, we will start with the people who are cooperating.
Yeah.
Then the others who are grumbling, I think we'll see that something is happening. And then, because if you are really unable to, but you are willing, you know, you engage us and we will see. Because if you look at the fingers of our hands, they are not the same length, and they are not the same thickness as well.
Yeah.
So some clubs will be able, some will not be able genuinely.
Yeah.
Some will need assistance, some will not. So, but all must present their cases. Yeah. You see, as individual teams, not as a choir. You know, when you're dealing with a choir, it's a very difficult situation to respond positively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Simon has a very bad tenor voice, so when they are put together with me, then it becomes a problem.
Not only to you, you present a problem to others.
Yes, and you look bad. You look bad.
Yeah.
But to Wiki, before I allow Simon to come in, what is the status? You know, we are aware that, you know, as the union, you sent out communication of even where to get the PCR test, and it was very specific, but you also gave options for them if they can find a cheaper place to do the same. How has that been received in relation to that?
Interestingly, we thought we had done our best to communicate to our stakeholders, clubs and counties.
Yeah.
Apparently, so far it's only 3 clubs who have, that I know, who have gone ahead to take advantage. Yeah. Of course, it's not a good number. Yeah. One club actually has two teams, ladies and mine, and then another men's club. Those are the only teams that have responded. Yeah. Well, of course, we've tried to talk a little bit to other clubs, friendly clubs, or clubs that we know will quickly pick up. We expect probably by end of next week, we could be having a good number, like 4 or 5 boys and 4 or 5 women's teams. And those are the ones, like the president said, we'll work with.
Okay.
We'll just quickly set a tournament, an open tournament, and one of the conditions will be PCR certificate.
Yeah.
And on that note, how are the clubs taking it? Is it that they don't understand that it's a government requirement, or what is the view from the clubs, most of the clubs that are struggling? Is it that they are financially unable to do the PCR tests, or is it that they are not welcoming of the regulations and protocols?
It's difficult to speak for somebody, naturally. What I can speak is from my end, as the person who wrote the communication. I saw a 1 or 2 back and forth, and one sentiment that came through was 2,000 is a lot of money. And our response was, that is the cheapest we could find. Nothing stops you from getting a cheaper one, as long as the PCR certificates are in with us. 1. 2, with time, one of the clubs that has done it actually has managed to get a place for slightly less than 500 shillings per person. Now, what does that tell you? If you are willing to do the PCR, you can walk a little bit longer, and you can get it at a much better cost than the one that the union is suggesting. Remember, the union the cheapest the union could get was 2,000. But somebody has come on board and told us, hey, I've gotten a place for 500 shillings. And he has proven to us that indeed the certificates are genuine. So the only thing we can say is anybody who is interested, they can contact us. We give them the number of this club, and they go ahead and test. Yeah, but as to what they are thinking, I'm not an angel. It's difficult to tell.
Simon, before we move on, let me read a few. Just acknowledge guys who are watching, and Duncan Murunga, thank you so much for watching. Walton Digo, he said he's watching, and many others. So remember, if you have any comments or questions, just get in touch with us. Duncan, I've seen yours, and we are going to, it's in the pipeline, and you know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Simon. Do you have any on your end?
I think they are the same.
Okay.
Mtu kama Boka tu anasema alikuwa amelala but imebidi amke. Boka umeuliza swali itabidi umejibu. But anyway, now let's now take things up to a notch a bit. We know during your time and also KHU previously has come under a lot of criticism and allegations have been made that there is corruption within the federation, the sports is being mismanaged, and all those things are being said, and you all know they are being said on social media as well. So, Mr. President, how do you respond to such criticism and allegations?
You see, okay, let me say something about social media. I'm not a fan of social media, so you'll never find me. Even if you look for me, you'll never find me. So I wait for the young tax like Wycliffe to come and tell me, this is what is being peddled. This is what is being peddled. But I said, okay, so this is what they are saying, okay, this is how we should respond. You see, I would like people to talk from a point of knowledge rather than from a point of ignorance. But most of our stakeholders or the people who are actually making noise, they make noise from a point of ignorance, and that is annoying, and it's very painful at times. You see, if you have a better way of doing anything, our door is open, and we believe in open door policy. And we've told them before, if you think you have got contributions that can improve the running of hockey in this country, feel free, come and discuss it with us. By the way, a number of people have come and they've sat with us. And even before COVID, we were supposed to call a conference of like-minded people to discuss what they think can be done or what they think we are not doing enough to improve the standards of hockey from their point of view, so we can see how to incorporate that. But now that things are easing up, we will still go back and call it. That is one. Two, when we talk about corruption, there are people out there who think there's a lot of money in hockey. And
Njugush is one of them.
He's found a way of hitting back.
I don't blame him. Where he comes from, I don't blame him. So, you see, if there's corruption, there are two ways of dealing with corruption in Kenya Hockey Union.
Yeah.
For our stakeholders, they have a right to demand, to know the financial status of the union, so long as they follow the right procedures. You see, and they will see everything. The ministry has no problem with us. Why do you think don't they have any problems with us? Because they have our up-to-date audited accounts.
Let me ask you, sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
What is the procedure? For example, if I would want to know how much you spent in the last year, what is the right procedure for me to follow?
Okay, now let's look at our affiliates. Our affiliates are the counties, the county associations.
Yes.
And county associations can give the Secretary General a call and demand to know our financial status. There is the one which we call hearsay, and there is the one which we call,
the audited accounts.
The audited, which is, watertight. Yeah. Because the other one, he can tell you something now, and when the audited accounts come out, whatever he told you, he is actually pointing to the other direction.
And even so, he is not the one in charge of money.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
But he's the one.
But I receive all communications.
But he's the one who communicates. Yes. He'll talk to the treasurer. The treasurer will never communicate to the county.
Yes.
But he will.
Yeah.
But you see, that is what I was saying. The procedures. Before any, we normally have quarterly council meetings. And before those meetings, we always give our financial status to the counties.
Yeah.
So the counties are very, they should be up to date with at least what is happening. Now, if we have anybody from the clubs in Nairobi who wants to know the status of Kenya Hockey Union, they just go to Nairobi County Hockey Association and demand, And when they demand, if Nairobi does not have that information, Nairobi has a right to come to us and, demand for that information which is required. And I think they have a right to get it. And we will avail it. And, I don't think, why do you get people complaining from certain regions and other regions? Nobody utters a word when it comes to accounts. But if somebody has an interest, in Kenya Hockey Union, let's take for example Njuguna is interested, genuine interest, and he thinks we are corrupt. Njuguna can come to us and say, SG or President, I think you people are mismanaging hockey and you are corrupt. And I've got proof in this area, and in that area. What do you have to say about it?
Yeah.
Now he's challenged Kenya Hockey Union with facts. And we will listen to him and we will respond. That is one. Two, we have authorities, in the country that deal with corrupt, whether individuals or institutions, which Njuguna can decide that I've tried to assist Kenya Hockey Union, I've tried to talk to them one-on-one to try and help them, but they've ignored me or they've pushed me aside, so I'll take up this issue with the authorities. You see, so long as he's got facts and figures, and we will be dealt with. There is the Ministry of Sports, which if somebody is, offended, of what Kenya Hockey Union is doing, and they've got facts and figures, they can go to the ministry and complain that, the money you are giving Kenya Hockey Union, they are mismanaged. And I think anybody of goodwill, when they want to know how much Kenya Hockey Union has spent, I don't think they will be denied that information. But there are people who are just full of malice, who want to tarnish the name of the union. I don't know where they get their figures, their statistics from, and they make a lot of noise. On the social media, but they don't follow it through. Like I've told you, I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on any of these social media. So me, I think I get enough sleep without being there. So
shida uliachia wiki.
Shida nimewachia young tax. But what I would like to communicate out there, we are open. If somebody thinks that we are corrupt, they should actually come to us. You see, number one, you just face the person you're accusing face to face. If they think that we are not responsive, then they can take it a notch higher. We are open, and we will welcome, if you are coming in to assist us, clean the house, why should we push you out?
True. I think to some comments now, so that at least our SG can respond. We have talked about communication, and we know your office is among the responsibilities of your office is communication. There are comments here requesting for these audited accounts to be available to the public as well as the constitution, and we've heard that there are checks and procedures on how to get, for example, the audited accounts. How would you respond to such comments?
Same way the president has said, come through the right channel, you will get what you want. See, I communicate to like when I was writing about PCR and vaccination. I did not write in the social media, did I? I wrote to the stakeholders. We know them. We have their email addresses. we know who they are. They even call me sometimes. Yeah, those are the people we deal with. Yeah, but I mean, if somebody feels he can go to social media, which in my opinion is a marketplace, and you know, in every market, the good English says, every market has.
Ezekiel Mutua, though, has gone.
Every market has. There is always one person in every market. You know, you don't have to deal with that one person. Anybody who needs anything from us, follow the right channel, go to your county, they will talk to us. Ask any county, but they ask any county, they will tell you yes. If it's Wycliffe, you just need to do 1, 2, 3, and you'll get 4, 5, 6, and we are good to go.
Okay.
It's a no-brainer if you ask me. Yeah, that is my role, and I offered myself. Remember, and I'm not paid anything for it. And I love this sport, so there's only one thing that I can do for the sport I love. Do that which I promised to, in the best way that I know how.
And now this fight we have between the stakeholders and the federation, of which the federation, the union, part of it are the stakeholders. Is this conflict causing problems in terms of you trying to get, for example, private sector partnership and all those? Because I mean, we have spoken with you, Wiki, and you know that there are some people who follow what we post as stakeholders, and it gives a negative review.
No, I don't know if the president wants to
No,
start.
me, I wanted to ask a question. You know, you talked about a fight between the union and the stakeholders. Can you just maybe be specific about some of these stakeholders?
The stakeholders, I'm saying in terms of club officials and also some club players. Yeah.
Now, you see, when you talk about club players have no right, you know, they have no line of communication. There's no line of communication between the union and the players. It's not there. But there is a line, okay, which they can follow and they will arrive where they want to arrive. You see, when a player wants to actually come directly to the union, what is his county association doing? You see, that is one question.
Yeah.
What is it? And then, who is responsible for the county association?
It's the clubs.
Is it the clubs?
Yeah.
And clubs are made up of
Players.
clubs are made up of players.
Yeah.
And you see, when they look at that, we will tell them that the union is made up of actually counties. And we are answerable to the counties. But the counties are answerable to who?
To the players.
To the players.
clubs,
Now, you know, they've forgotten that. And actually, they have allowed the associations, the county associations, to go to sleep. And I think that is a problem.
So
And
we need to address the county issue. Yeah. That's what I'm getting. We need to address the county
They
issue.
are asleep.
Yes.
But there's a question you're asking.
Yes.
Did you finish that question?
Yes, I asked, and I think he has responded. But you can
You're
add.
okay. No,
you can
you're
add
okay with that? That's
Yeah.
fine. We can move to another question.
If you have anything, that's fine. Jugush, before Jugush takes over, we have spoken about the challenges, the highlights, and of course some of the things you go through as the federation. We have also mentioned about counties, and it was my next question actually. Some have come up. I think we have Kitale,
Yeah.
Kakamega,
Bungoma, I'm seeing some.
yeah, who are, we can say, in their infant stages. How does the union support such counties so that they can get to the levels of Nairobi and Mombasa?
Capacity enhancement. Yeah, I'll tell you. For you to join us, you must have a constitution. Where will you get that constitution from? Yeah?
Yeah.
Most probably we'll give you our constitution, then you whittle it down and you create yours. And we'll work with you in that creation of that constitution. 2, we'll guide you. For you to be recognized in law
Yeah.
as a county, you must be registered with the registrar of
Sports.
sports. That is in law. It is not a Kenya Hockey Union issue. You get? And then we will train your membership in coaching, in umpiring, and in administration, so that when you want to communicate, you know who you are writing to. You just don't communicate on social media, which is a habit that is around. You get? Further, we will even allow you to have tournaments, so that within your area there is capacity and there is activity. Those are the 3, 4, 5 areas that we use to ensure that if you are a new county, you come up to speed. In fact, to some point, we normally tell the older ones, this year you will not hold a tournament. We want to allow Kitale to hold a tournament. That is how unfair we can be to the older ones, so that we allow the new ones to do what? To get their feet up and running. Yeah. So those are the 6, 7 areas that how we assist county associations come up. But you see now, if you get to a point where now you will want now to, for lack of a better word, go dormant. Now it's difficult for us to because we have other areas, other key
factors to consider.
But when you come on board, the first we work with you and ask across the board. Those will tell you, we are okay with the union. Because when we do this, they do this. We do this, they do that. We do this, and we have no issue. And a classic example is, look at Mombasa. There is a Sana tournament. Who has ensured that Sana tournament is on throughout? Yeah? We actually told the people around October,
there has to be a
we have to go to Mombasa. Why? You get? Kuala is also coming up, and Kuala are knocking on our doors. So most probably we'll tell Mombasa, hey, this year, let's let Kuala do their thing. So that we all go to Kuala, and we ensure that Kuala is up and running. And so forth and so forth. Of course, there's also something else people must realize. You can only do so much. You only have 2 hands and 1 head and 1 mouth. Let's go ahead.
Yes, Mr. President.
The other thing is, this is a friendly appeal. An appeal to county associations to get registered with the Registrar of Sports Organization. It is a legal requirement, and that is when you become recognized. And it is a pity that a number of old county associations have not done that. And you never know. One of these days, the registrar of sports organizations will just wake up and say that, oh, you're talking about Kisumu? They are not. They are not recognized as a county association. And they cannot be part of Kenya Hockey Union, and they will not. You know, it is that bad. And she has rang that notice. If you remember, Mwenda had a lot of problems during his elections. When he was being told, when she said, the registrar of sports organization said that any county that is not registered will not be part of that elections. If you can recall.
Yes.
And we also stand a risk of being treated the same way. And we are requesting county associations, we are appealing to them, they register themselves. Where they have a problem, they come to us, we'll assist them. And you know, when you're registering, the final letter comes from us anyway. Recommending you, and because you have to be affiliated and saying, confirming your affiliation. And we've never denied any county. There are even clubs who have already registered. Yet there are a large number of counties have not.
Good. I want us to wind this down, and 2 things I want us to quickly talk about. And let me begin with Wiki here. You've done so many coaching and youth development courses, and you mentioned them at the beginning, and even as we started this show. So far, what are the preparations for the national team for the African Club of Nations? And then probably can start with that. And what are some of the activities that we can work on even as we improve the sport?
Interesting question.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful. Trust me.
I'll give you 3 minutes.
No, it's okay. I will actually exhaust the 3. Trust me. But
Yeah.
let's go back to the question quickly.
Mhm.
What are we doing about Africa Cup of Nations?
Yes.
You are aware it will be held in Ghana
Mhm.
from January 14th
Yes.
towards end of that month.
Yeah.
As the union, I don't know whether you guys have been here.
Yeah.
The ladies
Mhm.
and the gents
Mhm.
have been training.
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday the men were here. This morning, I think
We
3
met
hours
the
ago,
ladies, yeah.
We met the
were
ladies.
here.
Yeah. And
We
some
have
of
called them.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we have called them. We know who they are.
Mhm.
Unfortunately for us, not unfortunately, fortunately for us, we have a good number of the under 21 team whose tournament was cancelled.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because we want a smooth transition
Yeah.
into the senior.
Uh-huh.
We actually felt cheated
Mhm.
when the tournament was cancelled
Yeah.
because we had a good number and they were all enthusiastic of a good performance in Namibia.
Mhm.
But be it as it may, you can never keep crying about what has happened.
Yeah.
We are trying to transit them into the senior team. So matters progress. We are like 6 weeks into training. We hope towards November we'll start having friendlies. And you're welcome to come and see what they're able to do.
Yeah.
So matters preparation, we are on.
Okay.
What we've not done is we've not whittled down the team to 30.
Okay.
Currently, anybody who feels like you have what it takes to play for the national team will be given a chance.
Okay.
But I think that window is fast closing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we let the coaches tell us how they want the program. Of course, they've given us a program.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a program all the way into December. Yeah. The one thing that we are requesting now that you've given me an opportunity
Yeah.
is as soon as we get paperwork from Ghana and we submit to the government, we hope that the government will do what they normally do.
Okay.
Give us the okay early, give us the funds early, and we expect to have a good tournament in Ghana. So preparation, we've appointed coaches. I'm sure you know we have coaches.
Yes.
We have Jackie Mwangi and Barbara for the ladies.
For
we
the
have
ladies.
Kimanzi, Fidelis, and Mike Malungu for the gentlemen.
Yeah.
We've even appointed the team managers. So from a union perspective, the only thing probably that will get caught is fair here and there because remember this we don't have professional players. Yeah, but matters setting up for the national team and Cup of Nations, we are set and we are ready to go.
Okay. Good.
Yeah?
Thank you.
I think that answers that part of the
Yes,
question.
you have exhaustively.
Yeah.
Yes. The president, and as we wind this down, because we need to wrap it up, what are the future plans for this union that we love so much? And if you can just give us a blueprint. For example, I'm looking at our turf.
No, number one. That is number one priority. Yeah, so
Wiki
you don't-
amechezea hapa, nimechezea hapa kidogo. Sijui kama watoto wa Simon watachezea
No, I
hapa.
don't know when did you play on this one?
Hey, let me be honest. The last time I played on it was 2011.
2011.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this one.
No, if you played on it, then it was new then.
Yes, it was new.
It was very new.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, this is our priority number one. Priority number one is to improve the infrastructure, not only in Nairobi, but throughout the country. So as we work on this, by the way, we are working on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been put on ice because of the ministry procedures. You know, ministry has a long procedure. You cannot just do your budget and take it to the ministry.
Yeah.
No. You have to call the Ministry of Public Works to come and work with you on this ground. Because they are the technical arm of the government. So no BQs will go to any government ministry without the Ministry of Public Works.
Yeah.
We've tried to work on that. We've hit a snag, but we've now actually escalated the case. We've even written to the Ministry of Sports to assist us get public works, because we took We took our budget to them about 3 years ago,
I remember sitting with you.
and they threw it back to us.
Yeah.
They said, no, please get this budget will come to us, but not on your letterhead.
Yeah.
It will be on somebody else's letterhead, and that somebody will be Public Works. So, and we were, by the way, we were even given a gentleman who we worked with here for a very long time before he disappeared. But the only unfortunate thing, he disappeared before giving us, the PQs.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've restarted that, and we are approaching it on different avenues. We've set a separate committee to actually staff. Not the executive, because we know that the executive will not have enough time to work on that. So the executive can carry on looking at the day-to-day running of hockey, but that committee, okay, which is chaired by our patron,
Yeah.
Chris Dias,
Yeah.
will work on how to actually look for funds. And Kenya Hockey Union, we've also started raising funds for the TAF. So that is actually priority number one. And as we work on the national stadium, we also expect counties actually to work. You can get 3 or 4 or 5 around the country.
Yeah.
It will give you good service. Yeah. So that is number one. Number two with it, you can't sit and say we are waiting for COVID to go away. It might not go away. They come in waves. We are being told they are coming in waves. So we might end up on 25, 30, 40. That will be after how long? So we must find means of actually improving the game and carrying on with our daily activities with COVID notwithstanding. So one, we have first of all to try and expand. You see the number of people who play hockey in this country.
Yeah.
We have a nursery, which is actually schools.
Yeah.
But then a lot of players disappear. By the time they leave secondary schools and transit to the university, a lot just disappear. We have to know where they disappear to, and we have to encourage them to carry on playing hockey. We have to have a safety net where we actually ensure that those players from secondary schools transit to the university where they play hockey and clubs, and that will be a plus for us. For them to be effective, we have to improve the caliber of our technical bench. And when I talk about technical, it's not only coaching. It is coaching, it is officiating, it is management, and organizing tournaments as well. We did it very well with the help of Solidarity Olympic Committee. That was it was last year.
Yes.
And we're already working to see what they can offer this time round, and they've promised us that they will do something. We were actually looking for face-to-face, but face-to-face didn't materialize the other time.
Yeah.
And they were looking at it, and it was wait and see how COVID
will pan
is turning out, so that they can now say, okay, fine, we will now go face-to-face as opposed to being virtual.
Yeah.
So that is another area that we are working on.
Okay.
Another area that we are working on is also finances. We are trying to see, instead of just waiting for the government to sponsor us,
Yeah.
we must also look at ways and means that we can raise funds, so that as we prepare the team waiting to go to Ghana, we can actually detour, on our route to Ghana. We can maybe go through Bangladesh, or we can go through Pakistan, you see.
Yeah.
And the Pakistani route or the Bangladesh route will be financed by Kenya Hockey Union. And the Ghana will be financed by the government. So that is one way of also looking for funds. And then something else that has changed. You know, when we used to play hockey, we never used to be supported financially by the union at all, zero. I was based in Mombasa. I would travel throughout 3-4 months to Nairobi almost every weekend and back. I would not get a cent from the union. But the trend has changed. For now, you will get no player coming out of this county. Even the players from Nairobi, they will start coming, and once you actually wither the team down and you start having, you know, the squad, the non-residential camp, you'll have to give them bus fare. You see. Maybe it's not their own making, but times have changed. You see, and that one is also, it's a lot of money. You know, it's a lot of money. You know, it is, you might not, when you are dishing it out, it doesn't look a lot of money. But when you sit down later and you do the mathematics, and you say, hey, you mean we had given the players 300,000 for bus fare and meals, because we also feed them. And if they are here early enough, we give them breakfast. So you can, if people are training from, let's say, 8 and terminating their training at 4, they will have breakfast here, they will have lunch here, and they will have afternoon tea. And that's an area that we must also be financially able to do that. So we are fighting very hard to look for sponsors. In fact, before COVID kicked in, one of our major banks in the country were actually ready to come on board. You know, they had even given us the amount that they were going to give us. But when COVID kicked in, I think we lost it. And that one was just a beginning. And I'm sure if we began with that, it could have led to much bigger things. But we have small sponsors who are coming, and we are trying to work with them. And that's an area that we just have to
keep improving,
to enhance, to keep improving. But it is an area of interest. Maybe my Secretary General can add.
In a minute, please.
In a minute.
Why are you limiting
You know, we have
It's
Kenya
okay,
Power
no
issues,
problem.
so we have to...
A quick one. There are two things that I want to speak about. One, even we are having an executive meeting after this. And we are getting a sports marketing gentleman to just tell us what he can do for us. So that is evidence that we are on it. Two, and we didn't mention about it. Remember we talked about the Masters League. What was the story behind the Masters League? The Masters League was just not for the masters to enjoy the game. We were targeting the older players who had stopped playing but love the sport. Because if you draw a graph of a player, they stop playing in Kenya at about 35, 36, 37. But professionally, in their professions, they are actually looking up